Hey everybody, just a guy having fun here. When was the last time you read the Constitution? And I read my Constitution every day. Maybe not the whole thing. Don't read the whole thing every day, but I read parts of it every day just to keep myself educated and reminded about what happened over 200 years ago that led to the establishment of the greatest country ever. And I can remember in school that I had to memorize the Declaration of Independence and I had to memorize the Gettysburg Address. And I was taught history, uh, at least as it was written by the victors. But it gave me an education on the founding fathers, what they were up against at the time, and really led me in my later years to explore that a little further. And it took me until my mid 40s to really get it, but here we are. So today I was reading my Constitution and noticed that it did have a copy of the Declaration of Independence towards the back. I started reading it, and wow, it's so powerful and it's so applicable over 200 years later. And I want to read it to you. And guys, I'm not a great reader. I, you know, I got dyslexia, and so that's why I read the way I do. Anyways, and talk slow sometimes. When you hear me talking live and things like that, it's because I really want to think about my words. But here we go. We're going to go ahead and give this a shot. The unanimous declaration of the 13 United States of America. Because remember, we only had 13 back then. When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one of the people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's gods entitles them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to separation. They're already talking about if we have a tyrannical government in the future. And I'm only going to read these two first paragraphs, but listen to these, apply them to today's times, and draw the conclusion for yourself. I've drawn mine. Man, I can remember some of this by heart from when I was a kid in elementary school. It's amazing. It's awesome. We hold these truths to be self evident that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and happiness, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, derived deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. In other words, Mr. Politician, great big government, you don't get to do anything without our consent, the consent of the people. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive to these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it and institute a new government, laying its foundations on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall redeem, sorry about that, as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Wow. Sound familiar, right? Prudence indeed will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes. So we don't want to change our government uh, for silly stuff, right? And accordingly, all experience hath shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer while evils are sufferable than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. Listen to that. So the way I read that is saying that, don't get comfortable uh, in your daily lives. Always be wary of government, right? because they'll lull you into a false sense of security. Keep going. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, and I had to look that up, and it's taking power unrightly, is what that means. Uh, but when a long train of abuses and usurpations pursuing invariably the same object evidence a design to reduce them under absolute despotism. Very similar word. It's almost like a synonym to usurpations. Okay, this is my favorite part. It is their right. It is their duty to throw off such government and provide new guards for their future security. Such has been patient sufferances of these colonies. See, so we're going back to the British, right? They're talking about what's going on in the times. And quite frankly, I think they're talking about what's happening right now, the sufferances of these states. And such is now the necessity to constrains them to alter their former systems of government. So they're declaring their independence. They are saying that we are going to alter our former systems of government. The history of the present king of Great Britain is a history of repeated injuries and usurpations, all having direct object the establishment of an absolute tyranny over the states. To prove this, let facts be submitted to a candid world. Holy crap. Look at what's going on around the world right now, people. The facts are being submitted to you. I just pray that you guys will learn your constitutional rights, read the Constitution, become familiar with why this great country was founded. It's amazing, people. Don't let history repeat itself. Let's correct our government. Let's not have to abolish it. But in my opinion, we're getting scarily close to that point. All right, everybody, go get yourself a copy of the Constitution and read it. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Be good humans.